not. That is actually here phenomena, all those things. Here is bring the logic. We can discuss God. God, how we need to definition God first. Whoever believed God created in things, we need, in order to debating to this theory, we need to God's definition first.
Okay.
So if we don't know the definition of God, we cannot know. We can't know how to debating on it. We need to know the God definition, and then also we need to know how they think God is to truly exist. Why reason they have? What kind of reason they have? Then we can discuss. Discuss furthermore until, So it will be very interesting.
Yeah.
If they only play the logics, actually more fun than play sport. It's only, but then sometimes they don't care the logic. Just my one right. No, that doesn't make sense. Even don't hear what you listen. Then logic doesn't we can't play very well.
Okay. Can I ask?
Okay.
Relatively, does a creator God exist?
Relatively.
Relatively.
In relative sense.
Relatively,
In
is there a
relative
God?
sense, God doesn't.
Does it exist? I would say no, but.
Well, that's also, we need to know what kind of God you are talking about.
Okay.
So you are just talking about the heaven realm. Yeah, does exist.
But
If you are talking about the God, which is truly, inherently, permanently, independently existing one, then that cannot be proved. Not only ultimate level, even the relative level cannot be proved. We can think. Just now in gentlemen we have discussed being is a self without relating. So we can imagine. We can think, but we can't prove. We can't prove as we think, as we imagine. That means our concept of grasping is something wrong. No, right. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Kempo, may I ask a question?
Okay.
I would like to continue. Just now, there was a question about why things are heavy or light. Can I say? Can I think of it this way? All these things are in fact illusion upon illusion and perception upon perception. When
Perception
upon perception, that means there's
upon
one
perception,
illusion leading to another.
Okay.
It might have been such that it was never light in the beginning, because you have built up many perceptions, such that you have not come back to the emptiness already. So you are not able to perceive that even that heavy is empty. Can I see it this way?
See this way.
Yes, because it's like, if, for example, if you did not have a previous illusion of things, you've built up a web of things already, right? Concepts, full of concepts, such that today you say, oh, this thing is metal, it's heavy. This thing is feather, it's light. So in fact, if you never had a web of illusions that have contributed to all this, and you actually you're at the root where it is all empty, you would never have thought that this was heavy in the first place.
That's right.
So
you can think, because that's why we are talking about two levels, ultimate truth and the relative truth. Because this ultimate truth and the relative truth is very good tool or very good method to us to hold, not falling extent, nihilist view, eternalism view, trying to hold and to bring us to understanding of this appearance level and the reality level.
Okay.
And so in reality level, as you saying, there's no different heavy and light.
Yes.
Reality,
Yes.
ultimate level. But obviously our perception, which is a conventional level, relative level, heavy is heavy.
Yes.
Light is light. We feel like that, and we grasping like that. And if we feel, perceive it, this, we cannot deny it. until we cutting or ignoring fully. But grasping, as we see, we can reduce it.
I understand.
Grasping. That can, if we can reduce grasping, even though we see on that, it will not lead to very defilement much. For example, I give an example. When you're watching the movie, if you are really into it, you will have different emotions because you are grasping it is real. Sometimes desire, sometimes hatred, sometimes scare. Horror movies, you make it scare. If you look back and it's not real, it's illusion, something. But you still see them. But the emotion will reduce. Well, emotion will. Sometimes you don't want to have this feeling. You really want it inside, right? And when you might watch movie. So, but in this Madhyamaka is showing this kind of movie. Telling us, because we are right now too much into movie. That's why we are tirelessly in here. So if we can go back seat, look like this, and watch a movie, if we can make it like that, through learning Madhyamaka, will make us very much easier.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. It's been very conceptual, and I was just wondering, and sometimes not so easy just to absorb. Okay, chicken and egg. When you were talking about cause, result, and such, chicken and egg, I saw the man. Actually, I see him now, outside of the window.
Mm-hmm.
He's working on the wall. The one with red.
Okay.
Yeah, red
Okay.
attire with a white helmet.
Okay.
And then he was trying to fill up the cement to the wall. Okay. Then when you finished your talk, I didn't see him anymore.
You
Okay?
already gone
He
down
was gone.
outside.
And then that moment I was about to make questions, but now he is back. I
Okay.
see him. Okay, so in terms of notion cause and result, and there might be some notion of the time, right? There might be some notion of the time. Is that taking place at the same time or not? So my question was, when he was not there, so my question was, how do you explain from your point of view? Okay, I say man was there, he was working, but we don't see him anymore, for example. And we can see his work. I mean, the wall is already filled up with cement, the black one. But man was not there. How do you analyze this kind of phenomena? Man was there, he came here and filled up with the cement, he's gone. So when you see, okay, somebody came just to fill up the cement, and people will say, no, he's not there. That's your illusion. But I can see the cement, I can see his work. And then how do you explain this kind of phenomenon? Now he's back, so it doesn't make any more sense, but now he's gone. Yeah, good, he's gone. So I will say, see that man, he was there, the red one with the helmet. Are you sure? No, I don't see him. Something like that. So how do you explain? And there also is some kind of intention here, because he was, for some intention, was trying to fill up the cement to the wall. So that was man's intention.
Okay.
So can you explain in easy word? How do you explain this phenomena?
So any else of lady, have you seen this? No, right? Did you? Okay. So three.
He was there.
So what you do? Three of you have wearing the special 3D eyeglass. which we not. Just kidding. But this, it's really interesting. This phenomena, cause and condition, appearance, all those things, and it's very much depends on the individual's tendency, individual's karma. In according Buddhism, I actually very much like this. All we have to talk on a relative level. In reality, building and the hermit man or everything, all are just labeling. It's not really there. But in what we see right now in this perception level, it's like it's a more conventional level relative to it. In this sense, we are in the same room, on the same ground. We have a different perceptions. For example, only 3 of you perceive that guy. Not any of us have this kind of lucky enough to see that. So that guy. But this, what I'm saying that it is because maybe this kind of tiny tendency, have 3 of you have a common tendency, habit tendency, and which can have a same projector, which have a same projection there, and maybe we don't have the chips on our brain or ground consciousness to
But
see that.
how do you explain that? There is some work already done by him over there. I can see it.
So this all are kind of our perception. It's very much depends on our own tendency, For example, the growth level, if we describe even human beings, different culture, the people have a different perception. But this one is we can, if we apply, we know this kind of this logic of the gross level, and then can apply in this tiny level. So these things are very much depends on individuals' kind of tendency, common tendency. It's a human beings have, they usually when we talk about the karma result, there are common karma, individual karma, and then we talk like that. We have to result of the individual karma is usually have to experience the individually. The result of common karma will experience also common people. For all of your beings Singaporean citizen, to enjoy Singapore's, everything, is kind of a common result and a common karma. And sometimes you or many of the even parties have a different perspective on that. Is also, it's very much depends on the individual's tendencies. But in reality, right now, when we Madhyamaka, we are more focused on reality. In reality, the person who wearing the hummus, which you perceive over there, is not really truly existed. But only we in a relative level.
Existed relatively,
Yeah.
but not truly existing.
That's right.
Because if it's truly existing, then he'll be staying still.
Then if it truly existed, then we have to find after every after investigating, analyzing, we have to find him. using even Madhyamaka logics for investigating or analyzing, still we should have to find him. We have to find him because he truly existed there. If we're not able to find and through the analysis or through this investigation by using Madhyamaka logics, that means he's not truly existed.
So that means that if you say that he truly exists, right, it means that he should not move at all, correct? Is that what you mean?
Of course. If he's truly existed, he always have to be there.
That's why since he's not always there, that's why he don't truly exist. Is that the argument?
That is also you can apply this logic. Because impermanent, it's always impermanent, right? Impermanent means is emptiness. A real meaning is emptiness. Impermanent means it's emptiness. An ultimate level means emptiness. And the relative level, impermanent means it's changeable. So changeable, impermanent, that means it depends on others. It depends on best something. It depends on best something, that means it's not really independently existed. It's not inherently existed. It's not truly exist. It's just like a reflection of the water. Reflection of your moon on the water. Reflection on of moon on the water is already depends on the moon. Depends on many others. That's why it's not truly exist. That's vividly we can see this even relative level.
Then if that's the case, then what about we call about space? Space itself. Because regardless of how much item I have inside this space is still the same. Then does that mean that the space truly exists? And how do you refuel it if it doesn't truly exist?
Space. Okay. Space. How do you how do you know space is existed? What is the definition of the space?
Let's say maybe in this room. Okay, just put this room as example, right?
Okay.
Take out all the statue and everything. We
Okay.
put a so-called boundary to it, like a square. So within that is the space.
Okay.
Correct. So whatever you put it inside, regardless, right, it still remains the same as space. So it's just that there is more object, there's more things into it, but overall the space does not change. Right?
That's just your imagination. Isn't it? If they're already full of the object there, where is the space now?
But the space is still the same. It's at the same void, the same.
Some secure. Yeah, it's just like our imagination. It's the same like we are same as yesterday. It's our imagination, but in reality, if this space is truly exists as you see, if yak's horn is truly exists as you see, the melodic body cannot enter it. Melodic body is a kind of although he was 10, according to his biography, but his bone is much bigger than how can fit in yak's horn space. You mean space as exists means as you see, right? As you see. This like kind of this space. I mean this is space, right?
Okay, put it that way first.
Actually, there's nothing exists as a space. Only you didn't see anything. That's why it's a space. Is it?
Okay,
You know?
Yeah, correct.
So that's just space, just our imagination have something like that.
Yeah, you call it space.
Only this, because it's this hole is before I do like that, is there a hole? No, right?
Okay, so before you
If-
do this, right? Then this part, all this, then what you call it?
Where this
That
part
space
is-
before we label.
Sorry?
That means you said that once you do this, right, then this is the space, correct?
Mhm.
So if you
Yeah, this we can label. It's this space already depends on our finger. That's why it's not truly existed. Even if like that, there's no space. Although actually there's not, we say we labeled space, but it means is we didn't see anything here. That's why it just didn't see any form or shape and colors. That's why it's just space. So space means it's just you see no color, no shapes, nothing else. Space there. Just imagination. Imagination. Okay.
Temple. Then what about time? Is time and imagination as well? Like
Of course. Which time? For example, yes, time is no different. Time it's even a relative level. If we do analyze like this kind of things, only right moments is kind of existed in. It's right now, the moment, only momentary is exist. But before this momentary has already ceased. No more there. The yet to come is not born there. So it's the only moment. So, but we putting the past, present, future. It's kind of imagination, and also in relative level, yes, it's dependent on rising. The right moment is depends on the past and then future. That's why we can labeling the right now. Without the past and future, we cannot identify present. So present is already depend on the past and the future. Past also already depends on present and future. Future also already depends on the past and present. So all depends on it. That means like egg, chicken and egg. That means in reality that it's not truly existed. But in the relative level, yes, that's why depend on origination. Everything is depend on origination. Okay? Okay. 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 Time is a space. Base. As base. Okay. Are we moving or time is moving? Okay. Where is the time? Where is the time? Apart from ourselves. If we say time is moving, we are not moving. That means the time is other than us. We are moving at the time. Okay. Yeah. So actually, that's very interesting things. But this question, like timing question, usually talk a lot in scientists today. I think I can feel from some student when we having they always bring the time and space something like that. But the concept of the time on the time or space in between Buddhism and scientists, I maybe have a different. But according this Buddhism, time is a labeling of the continuity. The things are continuing. There's in a relative level continuity. If you have a continuity, then it's that we just labeling of the continuity. For example, gross level is a level of the aggregate of the subtle things. Aggregates of many things. Building, for example, level of building. There are many things are gathered and then level building. Same like time is for example, from beginning until something. That means our consciousness is continuing. So in the continuing time, this ceasing time, present time, future, we're just labeling. But the time we cannot, in according to Buddhism, time cannot be separate from these things. My time, your time, individual have a different timing in we can labeling on it because it's my continuity from born to until day is a kind of the labeling of time. Time cannot be other than ourselves. Time is just continuity. But right now, what you brought the question is very similar to what you said, space, right? It's kind of space. Time is a space of. Is it a kind of time also space? Is it time is a space? Base. Reference point. Oh, reference point. Can you? Framework. Okay, we stop here for have a break for a moment, and then after 10 minutes, we will continue. 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, so we'll reconvene at 4:05. So yeah, have a good break. Meanwhile, you can help yourself with the free distribution items at the front. We have notebooks and a gift from Zongsa Khyentse Rinpoche.